Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Jackie. How are you?
Oh, I've had better mornings.
Yeah, it sounds like things are a little crazy there at the Shire household.
You know when like the cameras aren't working right, and you have 15 minutes before you're supposed to start logging hits TV, and you don't know where the manual is. But I took a deep breath. Well, no, first I called my husband, and then I just said, I'm going to have to fix this problem myself. So I figured out where the serial number was, found the manual online, figured out how to work the menu. But anyway, I'm very empowered now. That's the bottom line. I turned the camera off demonstration mode. Anyway.
Okay.
So we had a lot to talk about today.
Yes,
with,
but mostly irrelevant to the big news, right?
Yeah, the big news is General Petraeus' report on the status of things in Iraq, which we're really not the sort of expert analysts, except that you are.
Well, I do want to get the plug in. We don't have a date yet, but my old office mate and my friend, who is The Atlantic monthly called him the geographer Tim Golden, which makes him kind of sound cool. And he is cool. Is going to talk about statistics because it turns out that a lot of this stuff about how the violence is up or down is not based on anything that we would consider reliable accounting. So I think it'll be an interesting talk. We'll probably have it toward the end of the month.
So and we don't have any views about the Petraeus report, which of course I haven't seen yet.
No. I mean, other than the fact that they claim to have statistics in it, and that's almost certainly not actually going to be the case.
And from our sort of narrow, interest, there's always the issue of Iran and
right.
what kind of role it's playing there. So, I'll certainly be curious about, what General Petraeus has to say about Iran's impact on the insurgency.
Indeed. Particularly since, that, along with the whole nuclear program, may be one of the two causes belli.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure. My sister, the Latin speaker, might correct the way that I handle those two words.
Wait, say those words again?
Causus belli.
Causus belli.
I don't know how to make it plural.
I don't think oh, I see. Yeah, it would be C-A-S-I. I took a lot of Latin in high school. It's just all faded. Okay, Iran. There's some really important stuff out about Iran, and I'm hoping you and I can kind of get to the quick of it and explain our sort of disagreement.
Though, I mean...
Not that it's not that's what too fine a point on it, but the big news...
No, but now, maybe we agree, because we just had that really cool meeting, right?
Did.
Where we talked about what kind of valves were on the Cascades and all kinds
of... And whether Iran is using its own UF6, which you'll have to go back and correct your blog posts about.
Yes, you were right.
Okay, but...
For those of you who are following at home, we had like a really technical, very, I thought exciting, which is, nerd for boring, meeting, and Jackie corrected something I had missed. Which is, in fact, it does appear that the Iranians are using their own hex in their cascades. Sorry,
just because Bob warned me again about acronyms and abbreviations, uranium hexafluoride is the gas that is introduced into a centrifuge cascade and then enriched. But the big thing that has been controversial, there are two things that have happened. One is that the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, has reached an understanding with the government of Iran over a kind of work plan, a way forward to resolve a list of outstanding issues.
Yes, also known as the modalities plan, which is a word I hate.
Yeah, that is over. Yeah. So you weren't too upset about this work plan. David Albright and I put out a paper saying that this work plan is horrible, flawed.
We call it the devil's work?
We call it flawed. We went out to overstate it. It's not horrible. It's just flawed. It's just got some flaws in it. And you weren't too upset about it. And
no.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say briefly why I think this work plan is flawed, and it's just for a couple of simple reasons. The first is that the document puts the onus on the IAEA to tell Iran by September 15, in 5 days, give Iran a list of questions, a sort of full, final, complete list of questions that it has about any aspect of its past nuclear activities, and then Iran will undertake in sort of a series of increments to address each issue, after which that file will be closed. And these are sort of magic words in UN, IAEA, Iran, Iraq parlance, where when you close a file, it doesn't really get reopened. And if other issues come up, it's very hard to reopen them. Anyway, I see all of this as kind of not only sloppy word choice, but bad precedent setting. And right. I don't like the idea that the IAEA has to come up with a final list of questions for Iran, and I don't like the idea that while Iran continues to be in violation of some UN Security Council resolutions, it sort of changes the terms of the dialogue and gets to kind of wave around a piece of paper saying, we're good guys now, we're cooperating, everything's good. The fact that we're now running between 2,000 and 3,000 uranium gas centrifuges, that's beside the point. And I kind of think that's not beside the point. So that's my 2 cents on why I think this work plan is flawed.
Yeah, I guess, I disagree for a couple of reasons. One is even though I'm not crazy about the schedule and the procedures that they laid out, the fact that the Iranians have agreed to a timetable to answer the questions I think is a huge benefit. And I'm actually quite skeptical that even given that it's a very favorable timeline for them, that they can do it. And if they could do it, I think that would be great. The second is I understand what you mean about the file being closed, but at some level, the IAEA has a limited legal mandate. I mean, it's up to the Iranians to declare certain things and for the IAEA to verify the accuracy and completeness of those declarations, but, it's not really up to the IAEA to say whether or not Iran can have or have not centrifuges. And so to the extent that there are certain things that are within the IAEA's legal competence, that's all they can resolve. And I agree with you, of course, that the resolution of all of the safeguards violations doesn't get the Iranians in the clear.
Right.
And then I guess the final thing is I really think that a lot of this debate comes down to whether or not we have faith in the IAEA as an institution. I mean, we were talking about this at the meeting. I mean, if you think that the IAEA can't formulate sensible questions or is going to hastily accept even lousy Iranian answers, then it's a bad deal. But there is no good deal that can be reached if you don't think the IAEA can do its job. So,
yeah, I mean,
for that reason, I kind of think that, this is a, I agree with you, it's flawed, but it is a passable agreement within the IAEA's competence that has the potential to settle a small part of what is still a very large set of disputes that we have with the Iranians. But I mean, to the IAEA's credit, I mean, a lot of people, myself and you, both complain that the work plan doesn't require Iran to get into the addition, resume adherence to the additional protocol. But the IAEA report does. It says that they will not or cannot verify that Iran's activities are peaceful unless Iran takes additional steps beyond that laid out in the work plan.
And this I just want to explain so people understand, when we say additional protocol, it's such a wonky and vague term. But really what this means is without Iran adhering to the additional protocol, the IAEA has no ability to know how many centrifuges